Hey guys, it's Josephine from the Pointe shop, and I am in Kansas City Ballet, and I'm with one of the lead dancers here, Tempe Ostergren, and she's going to show us what she does to her pointe shoes. So can you show us what kind of pointe shoes you're in right now, what maker you have, and what you do to them?
I'm in Freed of London. I've been in Freed since my schooling days at SAB, B&B in Boston. I've changed
Freed schools.
All Freed schools. I've changed makers about 2 times. Over the years, you learn what you need. You learn, for what roles, what kind of stability you need. If you need it harder, if you need it softer. Sometimes for more contemporary ballets, you need something that's really mobile. And for something like Sugar Plum, it helps to have, there's the long pas de deux, so it helps to have like a good left shoe. So one of my friends taught me how to darn my pointe shoes. And I had been a professional already for over 15 years, and I had never darned my pointe shoes. And I started, and it was really interesting how darning does just millisecond, just this much more, kind of really allows you to find this strong base and stability in your pointe shoe.
You don't darn it heavily.
No.
It looks like you just do one layer.
One layer, yeah.
And then you keep it this way, or do you re-darn throughout?
Keep it this way.
Okay,
yeah.
so
and
very minimal.
Minimal. Because you don't want it to affect the line too much. Granted, from far away, you can't tell. But sometimes if somebody is this really thick, we always used to call it a Coke can. When I first get my shoes, kind of break in the sole into the tip, and then I hold it in a formed position, and I drip what we call jet glue, which is a hardener.
Yes.
Down the sides to reinforce the sides, because often what happens in dancers' shoes, you'll say, you'll hear it bubbles out.
Yes.
Or, and you think you're trying to point, but then the sole of the foot is going the wrong way.
That's right.
So to prevent that, I kind of pancake it down, glue the sides, and glue it into this lovely, not svelte, but kind of,
like a flatter shape.
Yeah.
Freed actually has quite a bit of thickness right where the metatarsal is. So that's a really good tip, because a lot of dancers, they either have to shave this part down, and if they don't shave it down, this is a really cool tip. If you don't want to do that, you can just flatten it.
Flatten it. Hold it. I even hold it like this and this, and I flatten that base, and then I arch the shoe. And then while it's hardening, the glue, I put the glue in the whole tip. I push it against the floor to really make sure that tip flattens down.
Right.
And this is after I've worn them for maybe 1 class. So there is a little give. They're not already just hard.
Right.
There's a little give which helps you figure out how you really want to shape the shoe.
Yes.
There's a little movement.
That's true. And is that the only place that you jet glue? Or do you...
No, that's the only place. And I also, because you want a pretty line, right?
Yes.
Dripping down from the... So I'll also kind of shape the shoe to sort of form that angled position.
Right.
And you kind of wiggle out the shank a little bit and all these things. So then, when you're up there,
it's nice and flat. So you kind of mold and shape your foot so that, or your shoe rather, so that you can make sure that you're nice and stable. And I did notice that your shank is much softer than your box.
Well, I get in my specs, I get a 3/4 shank.
Okay.
So I get a 3/4 shank, and then they actually shave it. So it's not like a hard cut. It's sort of an angled cut, so then it doesn't hurt the sole, or you don't get a blister or anything like that.
That's right. A lot of dancers who 3/4 their pointe shoes themselves, you'll notice that there is that hard cut in the middle.
Exactly.
So you can either tape that down, duct tape it, or you can have it custom made already so it doesn't do that.
And just have it sort of shaved, like angled down.
Exactly. Now I noticed that this is a wing block, so there's extra glue in here already. So for those of you who are really hard on your box, a wing block is probably a pretty good idea.
It is. It's amazing how having that stability on either side really helps in pirouettes. They got a Miss you know, what's it? Special order, and I didn't get a wing block, and I couldn't stand up. For some reason, my pirouettes were totally wonky.
Yes.
You know, it really does help.
Yes.
Wing block.
That stability.
Yeah, it is.
So a lot of people balance differently. It's not always about the lateral movement. So some dancers need a little bit more strength in the shake. So the wings don't matter as much for them. So it depends on what kind of dancer you are and depends on where you need the stability, but you won't actually know until you start dancing on Pointe.
Right.
But like you said, you know that you need a harder shoe, a more supportive shoe for certain roles.
Exactly.
And then could you tell me what the differences are between like the different roles and what kind of shoes you wear?
So I think that if you are doing a full-length ballet or something, and you're doing black swan, and you know you have to do frottes, and you're doing a lot of pirouettes and balances, I generally need a shoe that will be there to support me, you know, and you want something that's a little harder. And then if you're doing something that's slightly more contemporary or more lyrical, where you might not have to do 32 frottes, you want something that you could really move fast in. You really can, you know, feel the floor. That really, I mean, your shoes should always be that way, and they're always an expression, you know, and you're always speaking with your feet. So you never want bricks on your feet.
Right. So the shoe should never look like a shoe.
Right.
It should just be the extension
exactly.
of your leg.
Exactly.
Your shoe is not moving as well, then you're not actually getting better either.
Right, exactly.
Because you're not strengthening your
those
feet.
muscles.
You're just, you know, they're just little blades. So you want to make sure that you do that. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Oh,